Hey guys, what is up? Sam or Scorpiola here, and tomorrow is EA Play. As I'm sure many of you are aware, this is going to be the big event where EA are finally going to be showcasing all of their biggest upcoming titles across both current and next gen for the next year or so. We're going to be discussing so many major announcements today, including Star Wars, Battlefield, BioWare, Respawn with Apex Legends, the usual EA Sports lineup, and one huge title that I know many people have been asking for years that you're not going to want to miss. So strap in, get ready, and let's get right into the video. So we're going to start off with one that I think many of you will know by now is coming from the world of Star Wars, and that is the full reveal of Star Wars Squadrons, the brand new title from this world, set to release on October 2nd for $40. This game will be coming to PC, PS4 and Xbox One with VR support on PC and PS4. No mention of next gen yet, but that could be something we hear about at the event. Fingers crossed, because VR on PS5 for this title would be absolutely insane. This game will be containing both a single player campaign and 5v5 multiplayer modes where you'll be playing as both the Rebels and the Empire in the original Trilogy kind of time frame. This game will be a first-person space flight simulation game. It just sounds so great. The reveal trailer that we got on Monday mainly contained in-engine cinematics, so we could finally see our first look at gameplay here with the release just a few months away from now. There's also the possibility within this world that we could see our first tease for the sequel to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Nothing big, just a confirmation it's in development to keep people hyped. They've talked about this a lot as being a new franchise, and with the initial game being such a big hit, why wouldn't they want to continue? And sadly, I don't think we'll hear anything from the world of Battlefront, given the fact that Battlefront 2 has just ended its game support, so I'd say it's fairly unlikely that DICE are already onto Battlefront 3, given they're already working on a Battlefield title that we are going to talk about in a minute. Anyway, I think if that game does eventually come, it's probably a couple of years away. So we have recently had confirmation that Battlefield do have a new title in development set to release in 2021. It seems likely we will be seeing our first look at that game here. With just a brief teaser, it is possible they would save it for next year, but I think they're going to want to start marketing it nice and early. Based on leaks, this game is going to be titled Battlefield 6 and will be set in a modern setting with kind of taking inspiration from Battlefield 3. There's been lots of rumours going around that Battlefield 3 might be seeing a remaster, but that's seeming extremely unlikely. With this game being inspired by that, they're not just going to want to release two duplicate games, but it does seem possible that we could see some iconic maps and weapons from that game returning into this one. Despite the fact that it isn't coming until fall 2021, it does seem like we will be seeing our first look at the game at EA Play tomorrow due to this tweet here from Jeff Braddock, the Battlefield community manager, telling us that he can't wait to show us what he's been privileged enough to work on. So safe to say, it sounds like tomorrow is going to be a big day for that franchise. So next up, we're going to talk about Respawn, and sadly with Titanfall 3 not currently in development, from everything we've heard, don't expect a mention of anything like that, since their big focus the last few years has been both Apex Legends and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order that does seem lined up to have a sequel coming very soon. A tweet from the Apex Legends Twitter account does confirm that we'll be seeing a look at what's next for Apex at EA Play. But what could this be? Well, with Season 5 just having launched, Season 6 isn't due till August, so it's really hard to pinpoint what kind of content they could showcase for their flagship Battle Royale. Here are some possibilities. For one, I think an obvious would be gameplay of Apex Legends running on next generation. I mean, I think it's safe to say it will probably get a port, much like we know Fortnite is going to. The game is still huge, it's still very popular, why wouldn't they bring it up to the new generation? With the entire Battlefield franchise over on PC having just released on Steam, it seems very possible we'll see Apex make the same move, moving over to Steam, since clearly Origin just isn't where it's at anymore, with Steam and the Epic Games Store providing great success for EA in recent years. We do know EA want more games on Switch, so with plenty of ports coming to Switch probably being mentioned at this event, do expect Apex Legends as a very strong contender for that. We could even see a mobile version if that's even possible, with games like Call of Duty Mobile having recently shown that you can make a solid looking first person VR work on mobile. I can't see why they couldn't do that, so yeah, there are my big predictions on what to expect on the Respawn side of things. Now here's one that people have been talking about for years now, that according to trusted leakers is now finally being lined up to be EA's big fall blockbuster release this year, taking the place of Battlefront or Battlefield. Since obviously Star Wars Squadrons is only a $40 title, that clearly isn't their big blockbuster, and with Battlefield not coming till next year, they need something big to fill that spot. Well, according to Game Reactor, they're now telling us that a Mass Effect Remastered Trilogy collection is being lined up to launch this fall on current generation. Obviously, it's a little odd that this is a current gen remaster, not next gen, but I guess it is what it is, and visually these games will still look stunning on the PS4 and the Xbox One, and will probably be playable on next gen thanks to backwards compatibility and smart delivery. After the flop that was Mass Effect Andromeda, I'm sure a remaster of these absolute classics from the 360 and PS3 days is just what the fanbase needs, and it sounds like we're really close to finally getting this one. I thought I'd chuck in a quick mention here that EA will obviously be showcasing their usual lineup of sports releases for the year, including FIFA 21, NHL 21, Madden 21, and NBA Live 21. Obviously NBA did skip 2020 due to the competition with 2K20. I think it's safe to say they're going to want to make a big comeback this year and bring in a whole host of new features to bring people back to their take on the basketball stuff. Obviously, we will also be getting a UFC 4. This has been extremely heavily rumoured for a long time now, with leaks that we will be seeing a beta, and based on the previous gap between the second and third game, it's about the right timing to get this new release. I think it'd be really cool if they saved it to put it on next gen, just because I think there's a lot more unique stuff you could do with the graphics on that platform. Expect a big emphasis with these to be placed on major physics and graphics improvements across all of these sports titles, thanks to the next gen technology, which will obviously allow them to make these games feel more real than ever. Obviously, we can also expect plenty of them to have betas, since EA, well, they always do betas for their sports games. On the BioWare side of things, we'll likely get a better look at the next Dragon Age title and the follow-up to the hugely successful Dragon Age Inquisition. Currently, this game is just known as Dragon Age 4, although in their most recent earnings call they did say that this title wouldn't actually be coming until April 2022 at the earliest, so expect any looks that we see at that game to be very brief indeed and much more teasery than anything else. A full Anthem overhaul is also confirmed to be in development to repair the hugely controversial title from 2019. Battlefront 2 really proved that EA likes to and can pull off a hell of a comeback, with that game going from microtransaction hell to a pretty damn popular Star Wars game, so let's keep our fingers crossed that we're going to hear something of an ETA for this. As someone who bought the game on launch and was severely disappointed by what I got, I really hope to see a big comeback on this game. This could maybe be branded alongside a PS5 or Xbox Series X remaster if they're really committed to bringing this game back, since this game was planned to be a massive multi-year type thing like Destiny is, and yet it's already kind of dead in the water just over a year later. It has been officially confirmed by Joseph Fares over on Twitter that we'll be seeing our first look at a new co-op title from his team, Hazelight Studios, the makers of A Way Out and Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. These guys make amazing co-op story-driven games, so this is definitely going to be a big one to look out for. Hopefully this one will be playable at least in some capacity, single player as well as co-op, because trying to find someone to play A Way Out with years later is a nightmare. Another popular franchise we'll likely be seeing a mention of here is The Sims. Sims 4 actually released all the way back in 2014 now, believe it or not, and Sims 5 is expected to release in early 2021. With this being EA's last major event before then, it seems obvious that they want to give some teasers of this. Obviously, as well as their big franchises though, I'm sure they have plenty of new IPs to show us, running gorgeous graphics on the latest hardware. DICE LA, which was previously an EA support studio, is now rebranding as its own studio and expanding under the leadership of the Respawn head Vince Zampella. Apparently they are developing a brand new IP shooter, not much known about it yet, but it is set to release in 2022, so it's very possible we won't really see a mention of this just yet. And along with all this, expect EA to pad out their showcase with the usual mass of mobile titles and ports that basically nobody cares about, but it's possible we will see less of them than usual this year if EA really want to push their next gen release lineup, since with all their sports games and Star Wars Squadrons set to release before the next gen consoles do, we really know nothing of what they have in the pipeline for these new consoles, beside the obvious exception of Battlefield. So hopefully I really want to get a better look at those consoles from EA. And with that, guys, that is actually going to wrap up this peek into the future of EA. Obviously we'll learn a lot more tomorrow, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of surprises there. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, make sure to drop a like to show your support. Let me know down in the comments below which of these titles you're most excited for, and yeah, subscribe for future gaming content. Bye!